Hey, so it's that time of year again to talk about stock footage, and 2021 has been a pretty good year for me in terms of selling stock footage. I'll give you the stats right off the top. I had 33 individual sales across Blackbox and Dissolve for a total of $1,245. The most expensive sale I had was over $200, and the least expensive was $2.74. In total, I've got 518 clips online, though this year I only uploaded about 20 new clips, so it's actually good to see that my back catalog has continued to sell really well, because that's the goal, is that I want each of these clips that I sell to have maybe a 5-year lifetime where they sell a couple of times, and that generates value over the lifetime of the clip. Let's go ahead and jump into watching the actual clips, and I'll talk about what I've seen in the market this year. So a disclaimer up front, I will say I sell on Blackbox, I sell on Dissolve, but I'm not telling you that those are the best platforms. Those just make sense for me. Go ahead, do your own research. This is an interesting clip. I just kind of shot this one off in my apartment one night. I never thought this would sell. That was shot on the A7S. We've got a pretty good mix here of HD and 4K clips, especially in the clips that are shot with a standard camera. I actually sold a couple of phone clips this year. That's also really cool. And I don't have the fanciest phone. These were shot on my 8 Plus, my iPhone 8 Plus. That's a couple-year-old phone, but I was just in the right place at the right time, and I'm shooting something that nobody else was shooting, apparently. Because that's why these clips are selling. These are also shot with the Moment wide lens. These were not shot with an ultra wide or anything like that on the iPhone. These were shot with an external lens. You'll see some stuff here that is specific that I'm repurposing from other projects. I generally don't go out and just shoot for stock footage necessarily. I try my best to repurpose footage, because then that means that I'm spending even less time on these stock footage clips, which makes each sale just that much more valuable. These drone clips are getting a little bit older. This one was shot on the original Mavic, and I've got this one which was shot on the Mavic Air, which again, it's all about being in the right place, being in the right location, and shooting with a style that hopefully is generally appealing. You know, some people are like, oh, can I sell FPV footage, that kind of stuff. You might be able to sell FPV drone footage, but I really try to go for a very general establishing shot that can blend into a bunch of different styles. Same for color grading. I try not to overly stylize a clip. I just add back basic contrast and saturation so that the clip can work in a wide variety of projects. And that comes from my background as an editor. I know what I'm looking for when I'm looking for stock footage, establishing drone shots, and I'm looking for something that I can make work in my piece. You can see a theme in these drone shots that I'm shooting here. Like, this is an establishing shot of Oklahoma City. You'll see establishing shots of Philadelphia, of Amarillo, Texas. I really try to pin my drone shots on something that's very searchable, and one of those things is cities, is establishing shots of cities. And what's cool about those shots is that, sure, you have some distinctive buildings, but in general, a city is always changing just in little ways, and so having updated aerial shots and updated establishing shots can be important if the person who's editing notices that an older shot has maybe a building that's not there anymore, or it's missing new construction. Yeah, and some of these are just roadside finds. Like these last 2 drone shots, I was just on a road trip back from a shoot and just happened to pull over, see a little scene that was happening, pulled out the drone, made it happen. If you're going out with the intention to shoot clips for stock footage, I'd say absolutely shoot them in 4K, finish them in 4K, because you want that clip's lifetime to be as long as possible. So shooting in the highest resolution you have available will make that clip live longer. So there you have it. That is a wrap up on my 2021 sales. I'm super happy with how things went this year. This is not at all a big portion of my bottom line, but it's cool to have an average out of about $100 a month from selling stock footage clips. I definitely say there's still a market opportunity for selling stock footage in 2022, especially drone shots, establishing shots, and shots that you have access to that maybe somebody else doesn't. Because that's the whole point of stock footage, is that if you are saving me, the editor, time from going and commissioning somebody to go and shoot something, that time is worth money, and that money turns into the commission you make as the one selling the stock footage. So I'll talk to you again in 2022. Hopefully it's onward and upward from here.
All right, Drew, do your magic.